strategy. So yeah, we are having explosive Bitcoin. Look at this. You don't realize how explosive Bitcoin will
This
get.
cycle.
So yeah, Bitcoin and XRP is gonna get another layer of investors. It's gonna get a new wave rally of crypto buyers. And this is to me a very big bullish sign that we are seeing for XRP right now that we have not seen before.
People are starting to get it. I think once we get through a pause that refreshes So
yeah, XRP has been on a pause, but right now it's going to go for that extra layer of a push where it could go to $5, $6, and long-term $10, which people have been hoping for. Again, there's going to be some sellers, but if not, it's going to be a pretty hype season.
A contraction in liquidity, the cycle. I think the next cycle, everybody's going to go all in and realize it's the kind of end of times, because we just don't know what's beyond that. Nobody does. And anybody who says they do is lying, because we have literally no idea. So this is the really big picture of what we look at. It allowed us to understand there's only two assets to own. And then we got to a further realization, which is, okay, if 97% of all of NASDAQ's price action is driven by debasement. It's the strongest factor we've ever had in any macro regime in history. Okay, great. That makes macro super easy. For crypto, it's 90%. So we've basically got a factor that's so powerful that nothing else matters. Brilliant.
Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are experiencing a huge surge in momentum, and investors worldwide.
Again, yeah, XRP, we never saw these type of gains in stocks. Did we ever see any stock outperform XRP? Maybe NVIDIA, but it took way more than that. And these companies, they don't give out the same returns. But here with crypto, you can literally see these big cryptos getting some good news and just rallying because the market is so small. It's so much easier to pump it than NVIDIA. And again, I don't want to blame NVIDIA because it's a big company. NVIDIA is a good project, right? But when you have billions and billions of dollars, when you have expenses, it's not really worth comparing to crypto because crypto is just a market of itself. It's not like based on the company.
Are bracing for
could be based on the coin.
What may be the largest bull market in history. Raoul Pal claims that we are going to see a radical transition that will alter our entire understanding of the cryptocurrency industry as digital assets continue to rise to all-time highs. Raoul Pal thinks the next stage of this crypto cycle will be bigger than anything we've ever seen, as institutions can.
Yeah, now they're aiming for 1 million Bitcoin. Like 2021, they were calling for 100,000 Bitcoin. Now they're literally aiming for 10x of that, 1 million. And we had talks about XRP $1 before. Now people are already talking about $10. Why? Because, all these price predictions that you're seeing on the internet, they might work today, but the next morning that crypto hits, it's not going to work anymore. And you're going to have the next big thing. You're going to be chasing the next big price prediction.
Continue to set up shop behind the scenes. The macro investor and former Goldman Sachs executive revealed his revised portfolio and gave his reasons for expecting trillions of dollars in capital to be put into cryptocurrency over the next 2 years. He is still quite optimistic on Bitcoin and Ethereum. According to Raoul Pal, the tipping moment for pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and significant institutional investors to fully embrace this new digital economy will occur in 2025. According to him, the global decline of fiat currencies and irreversible technical advancement will propel the cryptocurrency sector to become a $10 trillion asset class. If you're
$10 trillion is pretty realistic, to be honest. It's already at 4 trillion.
Intrigued by bold predictions and deep financial insights, make sure to like.
So then let's take the NASDAQ. If we've got one economic force, we take the NASDAQ, we divide it by by Bitcoin, it's down 99.97%. So you kind of get one asset allocation only, which is crypto, which is bizarre. In a macro world, we now think you need concentrated portfolios as opposed to diverse portfolios. In fact, diversification just destroys returns now because you've got...
Yeah, people just want to hold one coin. They don't want to hold 15 coins because you get destroyed if one crashes, right?
One clear.
So people just went all in on XRP.
A macro factor. Working on the business cycle and the various components of all of this, how it comes together and where we are in timing of that. This cycle, people are starting to get it. I think once we get through a pause that refreshes, a contraction in liquidity, the cycle. I think the next cycle, everybody's going to go all in and realize it's the kind of end of
That's what I'm talking about. Retail investors getting in and buying big.
times, because we just don't know what's beyond that. Nobody does. And anybody who says they do is lying. They keep shifting the game. The game was the balance sheet. We all knew the game. Then it moved from the balance sheet to the Fed net liquidity. So then everyone's working out the TGA versus the reverse repo.
Yeah.
And then they went, actually, it's total liquidity because we're going to stuff it into the banks. And now the next one is they're going to stuff it into stable coins. All they're doing is fine.
Yeah, because they're getting a much better return if they put it in like an XRP treasury than buying it for cryptocurrencies itself.
What we just did recently,
It doesn't make sense for them. They could just hold a treasury and make 10 times more.
that quite surprised us. Gold is real-time financial conditions. Everyone's like, what drives gold? Suddenly we're like, we've seen this chart. Julie and I were like, something, and gold actually leads everything because it's actually current financial conditions, which kind of makes sense, right? It's the most sensitive to financial conditions. Then you've got the move in liquidity.
Thanks, Jackie Fox. So what I'm trying to explain is just that I'm really not that, worried about XRP dropping 30, 40 cents, even if it drops another $1, because this is just like the waiting room for crypto right now. And it could be like a single big whale that needs to pump it. It could be just a waiting room before the people come in, the retail investors. Again, really bullish on that these big crypto exchanges are just coming in and all these institutions are working together to buy the supply. Have you ever seen a stock market where they work with Trump, they work with all these cryptos? I have not.
M2, then we've got
Like, it never happened in history. You don't have any government just coming in and saying, hey, XRP, let's work something together. Hey, Cardano, can you make me this project? Again, the government is asking them and they're, offering that value.
markets, ISM. So there's a nice kind of understanding of where this goes, which allows you to forecast stuff.
And the really nice thing is like that this type of money is compounding. So it starts maybe at 4 trillion market cap and then goes to 10 trillion much faster than it had. For crypto, Bitcoin, the hardest it was is to reach the first $1. To reach the first $1, it took the longest time. To reach $100 took way less time.
Because again, there's one dominant factor, which is so easy. I remember before having to figure out all the variables of what was driving Brazilian rates and nobody cares.
Depending on
It's like factor on, factor off. That's it.
According to Raoul, cryptocurrency is expanding more quickly than any other investable asset in recorded history. He estimates that there will be over 1 billion active cryptocurrency wallets globally.
With so much money, where are you going to put like all the money? You're going to obviously invest it, and people have stopped like investing in the stock market unless they have a ton of money already. They started putting it in crypto to make some massive returns.
Season happened, right? Which is really what people are saying win banana.
It's literally like finding Google again, in my opinion.
And the win banana, we're up 600%. I mean, the banana zone is not a 1 month get rich thing, right? It's, Bitcoin's up 600% since we set a low in Q4 of 2022. That's, been a steady banana zone, but the question then is, when is the next leg? Well, we'll get the next leg as the ISM progresses towards 55, because the thing to think about this is just like a credit spread, right? It's just like small cap versus large cap equities, which once you get into Bitcoin, which ETFs will be the large onboarding there, you got to think about that as like the way I think about that is like the gateway drug to crypto. So even
Thank you so much, Jackie Fox, for the $10. I really appreciate it. I just love making advice. I made my gains already, so the real importance here is providing value to like the viewers who don't know or who wanted to learn, because this is one thing I really always wanted to search and I couldn't. And I spent like hours and hours per day trying to find stuff, and I couldn't. And I tried to put it all in one piece for it to be readable for the viewer and explain like exactly what these billionaires are talking about. I really appreciate that. So welcome to the channel as well, Jackie. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, really, really thank you so much.
Where basically we were just, kind of stuck in a range, which feels like that again now, but it's not the case, I don't believe. But so we still think here's.
Yeah. So it's really important to just, focus, work every day, and then all over the place. Being newer and all over the place is completely good and fine, because once you start getting the information in, it's very hard in crypto. You know, there's so much info and there's a lot of bad misinformation. This is why I started my channel again, is because I saw a lot of fake news. And I mean literal fake news that, you know, wasn't true. And because there's not really fact checking, such as with, you know, like you have major outlets in politics or you have major outlets in finance, you could get fined if you said something wrong. But here, this is the most important factor, is how fast you can learn, you know, by just watching what billionaires say. Watching the good sources is 10 times better than just, you know, going there and trying to see price predictions that are made by AI articles. So again, not bashing AI articles, but a lot of the stuff I have seen in 2021, it never happened. Those prices never reached. We saw much higher prices, and for some other cryptos, we saw much lower prices because they're working on outdated technology to predict these.
That are currently worthwhile to buy when considering the world economy as a whole. According to him, currency debasement, or the gradual devaluation of money, accounts for nearly 97% of the Nasdaq's price swings. Around 90% of the price movement of cryptocurrency is influenced by the same factor. He adds why it makes more sense to have a concentrated portfolio that is focused on the strongest assets, rather than diversified across a wide range of assets in the
Again, he literally is calling to hold one asset. He didn't mention XRP, but it's pretty obvious that he's probably naming these big cryptos, not just a meme coin, right? And this is the big factor here, is all these big institutions, they don't want to hold 15 cryptocurrencies and then see 3 of them gone. Imagine, then you have more pressure on 13 cryptocurrencies. That's why I went, you know, pretty much